cue the Jenny.
Are we live? Hi there to everybody. Now, you'll have to excuse the live noise, loud noise. At the moment...
Well, let's hope it was live noise.
Well, it is live noise as well as loud noise. Now, the reason for this is I have got going round my... Oh, excuse me, I've just been drinking Coke. Diet Coke, of course, the beverage of choice. But it's really great to see you all. But at the moment, the noisy train is my own steampunk build that I did around the basis of an old Hornby Class 6 shunter. So that is racing round as only a Hornby Railroad or 040 can do on any layout. And it needs to go that fast because for some reason over there, no matter what I do, no matter how clean the track is, it goes, no, bored now. Oh, no, I'm going to go. And if I slow it down anymore, it goes, bored now. I'm going to sit here all night. That's what that record is. I do apologise for that. But look, a big Monday night, Monday Club welcome to all of you. It's great to see you all. Of course, tonight's live stream comes, as always, in association with All Mouse Media. And there should be a link knocking about somewhere where if you're struggling to find my books, and it's like the normal state of affairs, we're struggling to find Jenny's books. Good. It's glad that they're not on the open market so readily as they once were. But certainly you can still buy my books brand new from the publisher. So they are out there. And of course, it's a great way that you can support the channel and get a really great book as well for your troubles. And if you ask really nicely, we will sign those, personally sign them. What else have we got up? Well, you probably saw the video earlier on today.
And is this the big news for today?
The big news for today, there's probably a few little bits. Off the top of my head, Project Genesis, those engineering prototype. I always struggle to remember what EP actually stands for. So you'll have seen the video, went up this morning, bang after the 10 o'clock embargo. Now, for some reason, look at that deceitful train there. It's... I'm going to just change its direction. Haha, you didn't think I'd think of that. But basically, where was I up to? Meanwhile, back at the road. Project Genesis, yes.
Genesis?
Yes. Essentially, one of... Oh, this is really misbehaving. This is run flawlessly for days and days on end. Because I've been doing some filming. And this train with this locomotive and these wagons ran utterly flawlessly. The moment the camera's gone live, it started to cause issues. We all know that feeling, don't we? They always say, a watched train never derails, but one that you momentarily take your attention off does go for a Burton. Anyway, meanwhile,
a Burton? You're making these words up.
I am. I thought we got the JK logo on that.
I'm sorting that out now.
The Cupboard Monkey is currently hot updating the Elgato Stream Deck, and that can only spell trouble. But anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Project Genesis, really thank you to Hattons for allowing me to review those. It was something...
I'm still amazed that they trusted you pressing all those buttons.
Oh, well, yeah. But it was something I couldn't really talk about, and some people kind of probably guessed that there was something to do with the Hattons Project Genesis, because I kept getting asked, like, oh, so are you doing this? Are you doing... And I couldn't answer because it was embargo, but the embargo's lifted. You've seen those models, and I have to say that my thoughts in the video are genuine. I was really impressed by those coaches. Now, a lot of people have asked about the middle axle on those 6-wheel coaches.
I was really impressed by that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that other manufacturers...
It's really not happy, Jen. Whatever you're doing is not happy.
Yes. It's funny this, isn't it? Everything was absolutely hunky-dory.
We're having one of these days. Go on, you do what you need to.
What's this? It's come off the track. So, I am going to... I'm assuming it's that. But, yeah, everything's been working fine all week. As soon as the cameras go on... Yes, it was that. Right, I think that what I need to do is stop this locomotive. I need to change its direction and then put this to the other end of this train. So I will get round to telling you about this. It's like that Frankie Howard thing. And meanwhile, back at what was it? So down at the forum, it was up Pompeii, and it was always trying to tell a story and getting interrupted. So meanwhile, it came to and then somebody would wander in. So anyway, let's have a look at some of your comments. Don't forget to. Oh my word, that's nice. But I thought the JK is on whichever one is selected.
Whichever one is active.
Oh, I'm liking this.
Has it worked?
It has worked, yes. So we've got King Fox Junction, Southern Train Girl, Chris Hales Heritage Railway, Ben Tullett, Flymo Chairman 1, J94, Mike and Sue Putnam Junction, Richard Swiderski, Ham Shackleton, D.L. Warren, Colin Wykes, Al McCall, Josh's Train Room, Leslie Gilpin, Rachel Houston, Diaxi, Gone for a Burton is an old saying for us Midlanders. Gone for a Burton, I've heard that around a lot. It's like, you know, basically where like somebody falls over. It's like, oh,
Zach's here. Hi, Zach.
Hey, what?
Zach.
Why are you shouting?
Sorry.
You're shouting like he's down there. I'm thinking, who let him in?
I was saying hi, Auntie Jenny and Auntie Zoe.
Big hello to Zach as well. KTM, Class 05, 57305 Northern Princess. Christopher Madden. Yep, Zach Farmworth just got to your comment. Tony Simmons, Lawrence Bryant, Garthian, of course, says the signed books are great. Getting personalisation really makes them much more. Makes them worth much more personally. Thank you very much. And as well, I've still got your. We need to work out. Obviously, the COVID's put a big crimp on things. I need to return your Sutton Locomotive Workshop Class 24.
And this Doctor Who.
Oh yes, and we've got some. Les has dropped off a load of Doctor Who pictures that are to get to you as well. So we need to sort something out. Obviously, with COVID, it's been made very, very difficult. I'm going to stop that in a moment because it's very.
It's very distracting, isn't it? Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm just going to quickly skid through because. George Botterini, very big thank you to you, has donated $10 on the super chat. That is incredibly generous of you. Thank you very much for that. George says, thanks ladies, enjoying as usual. Well, thank you ever so much. And don't forget as well, everybody, that you can. That is very unnerving.
Just turn it off, Jan.
Yeah, I'm going to change that one in a moment. I put it on because I know that a lot of people were asking about the practicality of DCC fitting the Hornby Railroad models, and in particular things like the Steampunk models, which are based on the Hornby Railroad 040 chassis. So let me just bring that up, and I'm going to stop it. Whoop, there we are. So this particular locomotive might need to get the roving camera out. It's down there. But this locomotive is the one that I built. The pictures of it have been shared on the, I think Bassett Loke shared some pictures of it as well. Let me just try and get that up there.
Let me grab it.
Okay. But what I'm going to do is see if on the... I think everybody's seen it, but what they haven't seen is what's going on the inside. So I'm going to just bring this up here. And I've got a couple of things that I want to mention. So, first up, there it is. I'm going to show you in just one moment how I DCC fitted this. It's not the best of camera angles to do it, but you may also be wondering what's going on here. Now, this is one of the other news things. I'm actually in the process of filming a video. And this will be quite a long-winded thing. So, I've
got hours of editing ahead of me, have I?
No, actually, you won't. It takes a long time because it's got to sit there doing its thing. And this is what's underneath this Steampunk locomotive that came from Hornby Bassett Loke.
I'm amazed by how little is actually inside some of these things.
Oh, they're bulletproof and simple. The whole point of these is that there's just nothing to go wrong. Now, that locomotive there has been running non-stop for about 24 hours. Non-stop, it ran through the night and it's still going now. And the purpose of the video is just to see how long a model locomotive will run for before something gives up. And it'd be really interesting. Now, I'm curious if anybody's got any guesses as to what, if anything, I mean, at the end of the week, it may still be running. There is a good possibility that that may happen. But if it doesn't, if it breaks down at something during the week, obviously it'll have done a heck of a mileage by then. I'm just wondering what it might be that goes. My money's on the brushes in the motor, but I suspect that there's also a chance that other things could wear out. But anyway, I'm going to leave that be. I've got to leave it running. But here is the Class 6 shunter. I'm going to take the top off, dead easy to do with these. And what's inside is actually one of the GaugeMaster DCC 27 decoders. And these are almost identical to some of the Zen Black ones, which we've got a full review on later on in the week. But it's just hardwired in. It took about 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes work to hardwire in a decoder. There's no stay alive in there. Honestly, it would benefit from a stay alive, it has to be said. But that's all it took to DCC fit this locomotive. So if anybody's going, oh, but you're sponsored by Train-O-Matic. Yes, I know I am. But this was a test bed, and I just happened to have a spare chip that came out of another locomotive that was surplus. And it was just a case of, for test fitting and proof of concept, it was an easy enough thing to do. Right, let's pick another view so I can put this camera down and everything can get back into focus. Right, the Angels Share Whiskey Distillery 00 gauge layout. Good evening to you. White Wall Wheels 1 Hardcore MOH. Hi. Wardle Road. Hi to you. Aha. Cottesmore. Cottesmore says it's always good to see DCC Concepts. You leave lighter in the wallet but fuller in mind. That is very true. The last time I visited DCC Concepts up in Settle, I came away with a Cobalt Alpha power supply, power booster, alpha meter, the cradle that my handset goes into.
The multi-tool.
Multi-tool as well.
Which I've noticed you don't use as much as I expected you would.
Yeah, but you don't live up here. You're not my mum.
When you're doing your videos, I expected you to actually use it, but what you actually do is look at it and then grab the flyers that you always use.
Old habits die hard. But yes, definitely. But look out for, I've got a full review of the DCC Concepts Zen Black range coming up on Friday, and I'll give you a sneak peek. I was really impressed, and so do look out for that. Great range of products. We've got Mark Wilson says 73 hours is my guess. This is for what is essentially a Railroad 040 chassis. Now, these things have been around, I reckon, 1980, but somebody said that the Holden Class 101 was introduced in 1978, and that's actually the very first that was released with that chassis. Of course, many have been released since, including some of the old Thomas the Tank Engine range. From memory, the Percy definitely ran on that chassis, as did the Bill and the Ben, and I suspect
that... The Flowerpot Man?
No, I suspect... I don't know if the Hornby did Toby, you know?
We're being asked here by Ashley Race, who I think may be a newcomer to the channel. How long did it take to build your layout?
This layout up here was put together over probably about a year. But the large bulk of what you see, so that the point it became a working, usable layout that looked kind of passable, was probably within about 4 or 5 months. And it's like with so many things. Model railways are never finished. You do tinker, embellish, change things. So up here there's no difference up here to any other railway in that essentially, I've done things like through War World Scenics sent me their range of static grass applicators, and I suppose and these were ostensibly for review. I did a couple of reviews with them, but it's testament to how good those products are that I've static grassed the heck out of up here. I've really gone to town, and I love their range. And the thing about a static grass applicator is that if you're prepared to go the extra mileage, they do, I think I've got 4 different ones here that they do from their range, and each one gives you a slightly different technique. So if you're in a privileged position where you can mix and match, they've got a static grass applicator that will do for whatever you want to do, be it cover huge areas of hillside, right down to very precision application, say, between tracks. So I don't know if it'll show on this camera angle. Oh no, it doesn't. That camera's been moved, you see. I'm trying to think of somewhere. I'm not getting the roving cam out again because it becomes the travel sickness cam. But certainly, actually you can see, I was going to try and put my finger in, like poke it through the frame, but of course I can't do that. It's not a comic. So this all here is done with a static grass applicator. This area here where the signal box is all static grass, and I just love that tool. Big hello to Stuart Muir, Joshua's Trains, James Petts, retired LEO. Wardle Road says, I'd visit there. It's just a bit of a trip for me, sadly. Definitely, yeah. And also, one thing I will stress is, don't just rock up at DCC Concepts at the moment. It's by appointment only. And the reason for this is so that they can control people's comings and goings. They can manage the situation. And what I'm told as well, that once the customer is left, they sanitize surfaces, things like that. So there's a lot of work going in with the staff of DCC Concepts to make sure that everything is totally safe. And the upsum of that is that if you just rock up on their doorstep, they can't just let anybody in because it has to be managed. So if you want to go and visit DCC Concepts, do phone them up and make an appointment, and then everything's okay.
So basically, they have to treat everyone the way that they treat you now. When you leave, they set fire to the place and salt the earth.
Yeah, something like that. Cottesmore, it's a 90 to 120 minute drive for me, but it's worth it. Just having a good idea of what you're after first. Very much so. And what I really liked, actually, excuse me, when I visited, is they've got a model of Ribblehead Viaduct, and it's massive. It is just the most incredible model.
I was impressed.
And it's still under construction. Certainly was when I was there. But also, check out the Australian outline stuff in the cabinets as you go in. I do really like some of those Australian locomotives and items of rolling stock. Garthian says, if you want to put my Class 24 on and put a coupling on, I wouldn't mind. Give it a run with the train. I will do it perhaps at some point. At the moment, fingers crossed, everything is sort of running. Oh,
everyone's noticed the TARDIS, so you're going to have to pass it to me.
Oh, have they? Oh, yes. Gosh, they've got very keen eyes.
Yeah, you hid it in a place that you thought people wouldn't see it.
Hid it in plain sight. You know, the first time I put it there, nobody spotted it for almost the entire stream. I had to go, well, it's over here. So, right. Anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Project Genesis.
Cottesmore says his stock was on that viaduct today, photographed for Haunt magazine. That's quite interesting.
Oh, yeah. So, I know Richard Watson, New Junction, was doing some photographing because I think there's an article or something. I know that New Junction was up there as well doing something for Hornby magazine. But yeah, I saw some of those pictures that you shared, and they do look great, absolutely great, it has to be said. But it is an amazing, amazing model that they've got. Right. Oh dear, I keep knocking over the...
Wilson, while you're paused, says, it might be a silly question. Never a silly question.
It's never a silly question. Ask away.
Does static grass work with the N gauge? Can you get short grass?
Yeah, you can get it down to, I've seen down to 0.5 millimeters. And, you know, grass in the real world comes in all lengths, sizes, colours. So actually, it's, you know, I've used the static grass, the bog standard static grass, on O gauge as well as double O, and it's the same stuff. So yeah, essentially, you know, just pick a length that is applicable to the situation that you're doing. But when you buy the bags of the static grass material, it doesn't have a scale on it. It just tells you how long the fibres are. Right, I'm going to put on the Garthian Class 24. I haven't got time to put a coupling on, but I am going to let it run round. Because it's been the subject of a bit of controversy today, but we all had a good laugh. So let's see now.
It's a nice model. I don't know what he was talking
Yeah,
about.
I said it was a nice model, but you can't please everybody, it seems. 5040. So let me just. So it's going to be running around like loco. I'm not going to put the sound on because, although I'll give you a blast. Oh, loud. The sound is very good. I did say that in the. It thought I wasn't looking, didn't it? Right. I'm going to turn that off because that is loud. But in fact, actually, no. You'll have misbehaved for the final time.
Bentley, let's say, shall we get a poll started to get Jenny to create a steampunk class 8 called Lady Zoe Gronkton?
I saw that post. Yeah, I mean, I'll put it out there. If Hornby send over one of their railroad class 8s and a couple of Airfix battleship kits for the bits, then I will quite happily design and build for them what was it? Zoe Gronkston.
Lady Zoe Gronkton.
Yes, Covered Monkey Express. I will happily
put a few trolls in. So, hello, people who are very, very sad. And
why?
who,
What have they done?
by their being here, interacting, voting down, and saying comments, are actually making the video more popular. You are not doing what you think you're doing.
Oh right. Oh my word. You know, you don't have to be here. You know, nobody needs to know how much of a loser you are. Loser. Right, anyway, I was trying to do something. I keep getting distracted.
You were putting the special class 24 on the track and the thing.
Yes, I was, which is probably put up the fanboy sign. Right, anywho, meanwhile, back at the ranch, I'm looking for, what am I looking for?
I don't know. I never know what you're doing.
A class 20. So 2063.
Are we not gronking it up this week?
Oh, no, we did Gronk Fest last week.
I still need to get that T-shirt sorted out. I still can't believe they said they gave me a copyright strike on Teespring for my own copyrighted material.
But did they take that back off?
They did, but it's like that's why we haven't got a T-shirt.
Funnily enough, it turns out Gronk, we didn't know this, it's quite a rude slang term in Australia. The Australians in the chat room, you could have mentioned this, you know, go,
it wouldn't have been
instead of sniggering away, going, I wonder how long till she notices.
6 months.
Yeah, well, no, funnily enough, Teespring helped us to notice quite quickly.
Yeah.
Right, I've got to run this round now without crashing into that train over
James
there.
Pett says that SLW Class 24 was interesting. Yeah, I thought it was.
It was, and you know, let's set the record straight. I thought it was great. I said it was great.
And you pick up the TARDIS far too quick. That's like, wow. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God's sake.
It's not on the track properly, is it?
Yeah, I know. It's this being a pain in the bottom.
The 24 doesn't like the fact that you have to have it compete.
No. It's not that. It's actually the Class 20. The back-to-back on the Class 20. It's a little bit sketchy.
It is a 20. I thought it was a 24.
Oh, look at her acting all knowledgeable, like she knows what she's talking about.
I've been your co-host for the whole of this pandemic. I end up picking up some knowledge.
Yeah, excuse me. But essentially, Sutton Locomotive Works 24, yeah, it's a great model. I love this model. I was looking at it, and I think that, you know, my thoughts are it complements the Bachmann 24, the new release one, really, really well.
Oh my goodness. Ham Shackleton says, Gronk is an old Navy slang word for ladies who are not particularly photogenic. I did not know that.
Is it which Navy? I'd heard that it's...
Tim Condrup says he's just had pizza. So have we, which is why I haven't been pushing Jenny pizza just yet. But
no, we had a pizza for lunch. Tea was fried egg sandwiches. Don't make me look silly.
Oh, there's an interesting question. Z Fantasy Train says, if you want to build your own locomotive, where would you look for parts?
Build your own locomotive? What, from scratch?
Yeah.
Or...
I'm assuming
I would say, right, you would have to whittle it from bits of brass. So brass stock would be the way to go.
I'm assuming he's meaning a model.
Or a kit.
You can get kits, but if you want to make your own...
You can get kits. It's not an area I'm particularly familiar with. Right.
Local motor shop should have some kits. I know that the one in Bolton does. Possibly,
yeah. Skipsy Train says, "Hi Jenny, can you please wish my wife Shelley, YouTube name Mrs. Skipsy, her happy birthday today, and I'm currently working away from home, so happy birthday Shelley, aka Mrs. Skipsy." And if you're in the chat room, it's great to have you along tonight. It's we've got a great turnout, 268 at the moment. Don't forget to tickle that like and share us on social media as well. That's right, it's the best way to get back at the trolls, is to let everybody know that we are very, very accommodating. Anybody and everybody is welcome. But please keep trolley comments to yourself, because they're not big, not clever.
Shepperton says it was the Royal Navy. They used to have a gronk board in the officers' mess, full of photos of women who were looking for pen pals. That's really not nice. That's cruel.
I must admit, actually, when I my very brief naval career,
how did you not know this then? Did they not have a gronk board?
I knew some of the slang, but you'll laugh when I tell you which ship I was on. HMS Beaver. Nice beaver. Thanks. I just got it stuffed. Sorry, Naked Gun reference there.
Yes.
Right. Big hello to Guion Reese Davies. Shanghai 264359. Good evening to you. Just heard from Rails that my SE and CR Terrier is on the way. Boom. Yes, that's the other news. Thank you for reminding me. The Rails Daypole Terriers, the Southeastern and Chatham Railway one, has just arrived. We're still waiting on, I think it's the DCC Fitted and the DCC Sound. But I have spoken to Oliver at Rails, and he said that hopefully in the next few weeks we're going to start seeing some of the sound models coming through. At the moment they're going through extensive testing and fitting at Daypole, so hopefully, fingers crossed, these will be on the way soon. And that really is the model that I am looking forward to in the Terrier scene. Is what I've said all the way through, is that for me, I think the biggest standout, unique selling point on the Rails Terrier is the ease with which you can do sound on it. Now, I have heard of people being able to bodge sound into the Hornby one, but it very much is a professional level bodge. You really have to work ever so hard to get that in, and it's not for the faint-hearted, and I suspect you have to hack away inside the locomotive or make some kind of compromise. The Rails Terrier has been designed from the ground up to take sound. Indeed, they come pre-fitted with the speakers, so it's one that I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we... Oh, what are you doing? Oh,
it's come off the track.
Yeah, Cupboard Monkey has just derailed my train as it went into the tunnel, and as we all know, the most inaccessible place on any model railway is inside the tunnel.
Bring it out a little bit, Alfred.
What do you mean bring it out? It's off the track. It's gonna... I can hear it, but like
just bounce around a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
It's not a rapid reaction force. If that jams in the tunnel mouth, then
stop.
The Cupboard Monkey is like, oh, what does that do? What does that do? What does that do? It's like dealing with small children. So, oh no, I've changed the angle so that people can see what you've been prodding. So there we go. Oh, look at this!
You're gonna have to do it now.
Hey, wait a minute. What do you mean I've got to? Oh, you a moment ago you were like the bee's knees when it came to trains. You were all like, "Oh yes, that's a class 20, don't you know?" Right.
I never said I was good with my hands.
Yeah, that's yes. Yes. Anyway, talk to the nice people.
Hello, everyone. Now that I've got Jenny out of the way, I would like to tell you all about the fact that Jenny really, really likes trains. Now, this is an intervention because, as you can see, she's managed to create this kind of temple to locomotives, and I think she may have gone too far. This room is entirely filled with so many trains, she can't get them all on the track all at once. So, Jenny, this is an intervention. We think you might like trains and you should do something about it.
I think that we should convert your office downstairs into a train storage area by slinging all your muck out into the street. and replacing the games with trains. So anyway, what do we like? Good God. Right, anyway, I have fixed the train that the cupboard monkey went, oh, I don't, oh, it's derailed just as it's gone into your tunnel. Oh, that'll be a calamity if it gets stuck inside. Right, anywho. Right, Johnny Good says, I'm having toast. My life is so exciting. Don't knock toast. Toast can be just what you want. Ben Tullett, no trolls tonight yet. Where have you been? We had a troll influx. They're not very good at it. They're basically White Wall Wheels, one hardcore MOH. Jenny missed the chat. Ham Shackleton says, we'll have to mute Jenny for 300 seconds for that comment. What did I say?
You mentioned the HMS Beaver and then made a joke about beavers.
Oh, I quoted.
Leon Reese Davis says, so you might be preaching to the wrong crowd here when I'm talking about the interventions. So how's those new buttons going for you?
These buttons are really good. We've actually got little pictures on them to help me work out which is which. I thought we were going to get the little Google Chrome logo for...
I decided not to because it might confuse you.
No. Right, so this is the Elgato Stream Deck. So as you can see... I don't know how... It doesn't really
it's not really all that focus, but you can explain
Yeah, we're a
what
bit too close for it to focus. But you can see each of these buttons has text on. I can read that, you can't because it's slightly out of focus. But the JK logo, trust me, that's what that is. For some reason it comes out brilliant white on the picture. When I press one of these...
it changes the channel. Why don't you go back to...
Oh, wait a minute. I can't show you that.
You can, because if you press just
No,
one,
you're going to break it.
You disappear off the screen.
Oh,
But,
yeah,
it
and
changes.
now I probably can't get myself back. Oh, there we go. Right, let's not mess about
It's
anymore.
nice how it's done now, that's the point.
It is nice how it's done. So, that's the Elgato streaming deck. Anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, the centre wheel attachment on the Hattons Project Genesis coaches. I will get round to finishing my story. I feel like Lurkio in the forum in Up Pompeii. Now it came to pass. But anyway, the mechanism that allows the six-wheeled Project Genesis coaches to get round tighter corners is actually quite ingenious. Now, I know that other manufacturers have taken on six-wheel chassis. We've had the Stove R was one, and as is their wont, modelers have complained to high heaven, but I think that Hattons have come up with a solution which does work really well. Now, it means that the centre wheel set doesn't just loll about, it isn't at risk of falling off the track. It's got like a slider mechanism, so that entire set of W-irons, springs, and the axle slide as one, and in a very secure slider. And it actually, even when the carriage is going round a tight corner, it doesn't look like it's disjointed. It does look right, because the front face of the wheels are still equidistant behind the W-irons as all the other axles and as it is on straight track. So it actually looks right. And its track holding abilities, well, to be honest with you, I didn't have a single derailment. I had them here for a day and a half, and for the entirety of the day that I was filming, they stayed on the track. And actually it was a little bit awkward because, quite frankly, we were filming actually no, it wasn't the day of the Monday, it was the day, we were expecting them coming the day of the Monday club, but it was the day after, and you may have seen the photograph I posted of all those pre-grouping locomotives. And I obviously couldn't say that. So I was filming the Project Genesis thing. A few people asked me in the comments, "Oh, is this to do with Project Genesis?" And I just pretended to ignore you.
You might think that. I couldn't possibly.
No,
comment.
you can't even say that because
that's joking, Jen.
That is basically like saying, no.
I realise that, but come on, I'm making a joke.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got 292 people in. We've got a great turnout tonight. Don't forget to tickle that like button, share the stream too, and also subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Don't forget as well, you can check us out over on Patreon. And I know that there was another stream where they were just like over the moon about Patreon and how it's helping fund great content.
So who is this? You've forgotten. Okay.
Sound like wankers or something. I don't know. Anyway,
You
Peter,
shouldn't say that word, but yeah, they did call themselves that, didn't they? Wasn't that? Oh, that's the group that suggested that anyone who was on Patreon was essentially a prostitute. Which is ironic because you're not allowed to be on there if you're a prostitute. It's against the terms of service.
Boys, I think you need to figure out how prostitution works.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, Simon Trains MRS has decided to pre-order the Steampunk figures from Bassett Lowe. Got an idea for them, just need to find a new TARDIS now. Actually, that is a great idea, because it was the one, it was like from the Victorian period.
Sorry? What?
Which of the companions was the Victorian one?
I want to say Victoria, but I'm pretty sure she was the one from the future.
No, Victoria. No, Victoria was Patrick Troughton.
Yeah.
Patrick Troughton. Yeah, she was Victoria because she gets picked up in the Dalek Master Plan.
Yes, and that was an amazing set that they had.
Yeah, there's only three that they can find out of what 12.
Yeah, and it's such unfortunate. I think they're making the animated version of it though. We've got one here, a question from Diaxi.
Am I well behind on the comments?
You always are, Jim. Got a question from Diaxi. When you were on board the HMS Beaver, when was it that you were on board? Because it was the early 80s when they visited.
Oh no, well after that. This was probably about 1995. So got to sail on her up to Iceland. We went out of Faslane, went up to Faslane, all the way up to Iceland, Orkney, Shetland.
You went to Iceland on a boat. You went shopping on a boat.
Yes. Jenny's gone to Iceland. No, we went up to. We didn't stop at Iceland, but we went up there, and you could see it from the ship. Around, I think it was Shetland, and then back out into the North Atlantic. Did some sea trials, and then back down and to Liverpool. It's about 1995, maybe 96. I lose track actually. Right. Combat Bunny, absolutely on message. What's wrong? Have you broken it?
It doesn't seem to want to do the mountain cam.
Yeah, because you broke it, because you had to fiddle about.
This is ridiculous. It's decided to
because the cupboard monkey...
I didn't, Jen, come on, stop it.
I told you not to press that button.
Right, you got a picture. That's weird that it's decided to stop.
Yeah, it's decided to...
It's lost all the cameras except one. That's ridiculous.
Now let's see if I can...
Yard after dark.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can force it.
Well, don't press the buttons too quick, otherwise it shorts out.
Well, this is very embarrassing.
Yeah. While you're sorting with this, David Cook says, when are you starting your 009 line?
I've managed to find the track, and so... don't tell me, is it just... Come on. Yes, we've got one back. I've managed to find the track. Track, as everybody knows at the moment, is really tricky to track down. Bada-bum tish. So there is my point. My one and only 009 point. And I've got 4 yards of flexi track. And what was interesting, actually, was Hattons I went to. It's actually when I was returning the Project Genesis samples. Oops.
Combat Bunny says the right thing here. That's what happens when you pay peanuts. You can't get the staff.
Yeah, pay peanuts, get cupboard monkeys. I've been asking you to do that on a t-shirt for ages. These, can I just say, these are proved even more difficult to get. So these are the metal rail joiners for 009. And funnily enough, if you're really struggling to get these, Bolton... For some reason this keeps trying to fall off and parachute off there. Bolton Model Mart in Bolton has loads of them. He's got a big crate full of track joiners for all different scales, but he's got loads of the 009 N-gauge ones. Excuse me. So at the moment they're very difficult to get, and track's very difficult to get in general. But Hattons certainly did earlier last week have 009 track, actually quite a lot of it. Certainly it was saying more than 10 in stock for the flexi track. But they didn't have any of the rail joiners, but Bolton Model Mart do. Right.
John Gondel says, hello from beautiful East Texas.
Ooh.
That's quite a way.
Oh, right. So, no, I think Tucson's in Arizona. What's in Texas? Austin, where the North by Northwest Music Festival's held. Oh, wow.
You know a bit there, don't you?
Yeah, I do. And is Phoenix? No, Phoenix is Arizona, isn't it?
Everyone's now saying that I get paid in pizzas. That's kind of true. Simon's Trains has a wonderful one here. At least you got to the point on collecting the 009 track.
Yes. Yeah. Wow, how talented.
My talent never starts.
Paul Power says, just bought some rail from Hattons today. North End Sidings Model Railway, pizza with banana. Oh no!
Oh my goodness,
it has been
those Turtles pizzas.
Yeah, we talk about this every time. The Teenage Mutant Ninja tie-in pizzas.
Teenage Mutant Ninja tie-ins.
Yeah, okay, right, come on, settle down, baby.
Mills Model Railway says, can we have a shout out for Chasewater Railway Model Shop? We stock mostly 00 gauge, but we've got a lot of Pico tracking as well.
Yeah, we can do that. So big shout out for Chasewater. What was it? Chasewater Model Rail.
Chasewater Railway Model Shop.
Chasewater Railway Model Shop. Boom! And definitely, yeah, everybody do support your local model shop. It's really important, and especially if you're able to get there in person within the constraints of social distancing. If the model shop is open, do support them. Also, if they're doing mail order, do support them on mail order as well. What I have been told, actually, I've been speaking with a few different model shops. I actually did manage to get to Tim over at Arcadia. I think I mentioned that last week. But funnily enough, sales on hobbies are actually doing quite well at the moment because of lockdown. But do keep supporting them. Right, we're going to risk...
We've got another mention here. Where have we gone? Z Fantasy Train says he's in Phoenix. Are we in the middle of the American working day? Is that how we've got a few Americans in? Because I know the Australians are basically... everyone that we've got in is either got their eyelids opened with sticks or drinking lots of coffee.
I think it's the equivalent of about 5 a.m, 6 a.m. in places like Victoria in Australia. I could be wrong.
I think it is in the middle of the day for the Americans, isn't it? So
possibly, yeah. Melchester Model Railway, my 009 points finally arrived from Rails after a 3-month wait. Still no rail joiners though, so I may take up Jenny's tip of Bolton Model Mart. I wonder if they do mail order. Yes, they do. So if you do phone up Bolton Model Mart, you'll be able to find their details online. They do have a website. Then ring them up and say Jenny Kirk sent you their way for rail joiners. And it should be quite easy because you can pop all them in a padded envelope. So I know that they do mail order. Principally, I think they're a specialist in remote control cars. But of course they are obviously a Hornby and Bachmann stockist as well. And when I was there, they had a plastic tray and it was just full of bundles of rail joiners. So if you're desperately trying to get hold of them, do give, I think it's Phil, a call and tell him that Jenny sent you. You won't get any kind of discount, but it does massage my ego because I go in there and he goes, oh, I had a phone call from somebody that said that you recommended them.
So we've got a question from Z Fantasy Trains. Is 009 what you refer to as N scale? It's not, is it?
The track is the same width as N gauge track. But the idea is it's actually, it's as it says, it's 00 scale running on 9mm track, which loosely equates to representing 2-foot gauge narrow gauge in 00. So when you model 009, effectively the only thing that you have to buy special is the track and the trains. Everything else is standard 00. So all your scenic stuff is 00. And that's actually one of the reasons that makes it such a great little scale to model in. And we've never been more spoiled. We've got ready to run locomotives and rolling stock, which we never used to do. You used to have to make it all as kits and bodge your way through it. We've got the Baldwin from Bachmann. They've also announced the Quarry Hunslets. We're still waiting on them, but the Baldwin has been delivered and by all accounts is a great model and is certainly one that I've had my eye on. everybody that I've spoken to who's got a Bachmann Baldwin, a narrow gauge locomotive, has sung its praises. So that's a good one. Helgen do the 262 locomotive at the moment. Rails of Sheffield do have them on offer. I think it's about £139. So that's another one. But be warned, they are very unforgiving of badly laid tracks, so I'm told. What else have we got? We've also got Pico stroke Cato in a collaboration are bringing out sometime early next year. The Small Englands, these are things like Princess, Prince, Welsh Pony from the Festiniog Railway. Really looking forward to them, and they have also announced the Double Fairley. So we have got quite a range, and I think Bachmann as well has also announced a Royal Navy Armaments Depot diesel shunter as well. So there's a lot of stuff coming through in narrow gauge. We've got wagons from Bachmann. We've got coaches and wagons ready to run as well from Pico. So there is a great deal of choice. And of course, if you want to model things like the Österreich Bundesbahn stuff, then you can get that through Lilliput. And I think they do the Swiss stuff as well. Right.
So, Kelly Ashford's been in, and she says she's seen the Genesis carriage samples, but there are no steam engines. How boring can you get? I think missing the point slightly. Aren't the Genesis coaches because there are so many steam engines but no rolling stock?
The whole point of the Genesis coaches is to give all of those pretty pre-grouping locomotives that we've had coming through now for a few years from manufacturers. It's giving them something to run. So in the video that I did, if you watch the video that came out this morning, I actually made a point of running those Genesis engineering prototypes with actually a wide variety of pre-grouping locomotives. And there was a method in my madness. What I thought would be to kind of fire at people's imaginations would be to show them running with appropriate locomotives which currently have limited or no rolling stock to go with them. So I think I showed them running with the South Eastern and Chatham Railway C-Class, the P-Class as well from the same stable, the H-Class from SECR, but I also showed them running with London and South Western Railway B4 tanks. I think I showed them running with the City of Truro, Great Western, London, Brighton and South Coast with the Terriers as well. And the idea was showing you, just how good they look with these locomotives. So that's all that was in that video. It does seem to have gone down really well, and it was, again, I can only reiterate this, I'm very, very grateful to Hattons for giving me the opportunity to review those coaches, and hopefully it's an indication that people do value my impartial reviews. Right, I'm probably...
Can we change the view to maybe the front?
We can try. Let's try this one.
It really doesn't seem to want to do it.
I wonder, I think we've got two views that are currently wanting to work. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace the wires back and unplug. I need to unplug that one and that one. So you come here and talk to the nice people.
Oh my goodness, do I have to bust out some of my jokes?
No, you most definitely shall. Yes, that's right, everybody. You can pledge to stop Zoe saying her awful jokes. That's right.
Go on, you can.
Right, I'm just going to.
She only keeps me up here so that I can jump in when she's busy.
Yeah.
It's a terrible life. I was actually at work doing some work. I can't back that up. I was laid in bed playing the Division 2 when Jenny decided that she wanted me to come and help out. So here I am.
Right, I've got to.
It's a terrible life, Have you just pulled those out?
Yeah, what I've got to do...
Jen, the disadvantage with this is that you won't know because they weren't working.
No, you don't understand. By doing that, it gets the computer to realise they're no longer there. I can now plug...
Jenny likes to lecture.
Yeah, Jenny knows what she's doing and
she likes to make it obvious that she knows what's going on as well.
Yeah, look, Jenny knows what she's doing. Can I press? Yeah, go on then.
Did it work?
Hold on. Yes, that's it. I told you.
It's
you.
alive. It's great.
Right, go on, shove off.
So anyway, I was going to tell some jokes, but Jenny's back, so I don't have to. Ah! Don't tickle me. Yeah, know that I'm ticklish. My only weakness. Wow, my only weakness that you know
Yes, along with pies, crumble, pizza, wine gums, Coke, more Coke, duvets, baths, watching karma happen. Right.
Mike and Sue, Putnam Junction says, is the TARDIS in the trees just before the top tunnel? It is not. Good guess. It looks like it is, but it's not.
I think one of the mods may have accidentally timed out the wrong person.
Yes, sorry, see Fantasy Trains. It must be that the chat slipped when they were pressing that. Sorry about that, you will be back soon.
Yeah, so Z Fantasy Trains, you didn't do anything wrong. I've just spotted it now and thought, I think they've slipped. Sometimes it happens. The chat plays Matador and you just go to click on something and just before you click it goes, olé!
Yes,
so
Matador websites.
You didn't do anything wrong. We're really sorry about that. I'm not sure
The
how...
moment that you get a different angle, you spotted the TARDIS.
Kelly Ashford says, I can't stand the sight. There's ugly boxes on wheels. Why oh why did I get in on this? What are we looking at?
I don't know which
I
one
think
it's on
I'm presuming you're referring to the train just hoving into view. Now, I was going to get round to talking about this, but lots of things conspire against me. So it came to pass down in the forum, meanwhile back at the ranch, blah, 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 blah. That is all Acura scale wagons. Now, the reason I'm running that is certainly the last two wagons there, the Chemflow ones, they were very, very kindly sent over as review samples quite a while ago. We did a video on them. Great wagons, blew me away with the level of detail, as did all the other Acura scale wagons. But Acura Scale have just shared again my video on their Facebook page to highlight the model, and I'm just really, really honoured that they've done that. So I've made sure that we've got a train going around, which is all Acura Scale wagons. If you're interested, the triple packs in front are the
British Fuels?
Is it the PFA or the KFA? I'm not well versed with the supermodel. Will you leave that? Get your finger. No, you did. Oh, whoa! Just as it went into the Fleming thing again. I'll stop it, shall I? Right.
Alright, you keep going.
Have you finished? It's like.
I wasn't. I'm trying to get the TARDIS back out. Everyone spotted it, so I didn't the TARDIS.
Well, you could have told me to start. She went to lift the TARDIS out of the wagon just as it was going into the tunnel. So of course,
yeah, it's next to me.
Yeah. So of course it all went wrong. It all went a bit Pete Tom.
Why is that train on its own?
Because I haven't got couplings on and I haven't got round to taking the detail. I know Garthian's very keen for me to show it running it with a train. Unfortunately, at the moment, on the live stream, I'm not got the time to fiddle with things. So I'm going to run it light loco because I know that even though I did give it a glowing review, they were a bit miffed that I didn't glow a bit more. So I'm giving it some airtime. It's a certain locomotive workshop, class 24. It is a great locomotive, I have to say. You know, I said that in the review, and I stand by that view. And it's entirely my opinion. I do think that the Bankman Class 24 is a great locomotive as well. And at the end of the day, you know, it's doing a great job.
We've got an interesting question here from Daza1977. Hello, Jenny. First viewer, enjoying all the information that you know. How did you get into trains?
My father, he needed an excuse to get his train set out, and with 3 daughters, he was probably straight out of luck, and I was the one that took the bait. So as a child, I've told this story so many times. There's interviews with me on TV programs, on other people's channels as well. It's always the same story because it's absolutely true. As a small child, probably about 2, maybe 3 years old, and my hand would snake out to touch them. Oh, no, Daddy will show you how it works. Oh, no. And my mum would come to the door. Are you letting her have a go? Yeah, just showing her how it works. I think I was about 5 before I actually got to play with it. But yeah, it was my father. And I think it's one of those things that whatever your parents are passionate about tends to rub off. So you see this a lot with football, say. Now, neither of my parents really could give a hoot about football. So consequently, football was never a thing in our family, and not one of the siblings, myself or my other two sisters, have any real interest in football whatsoever. But my father was really into trains, ships, aeroplanes, anything transport, anything military, and that's what rubbed off on me. And I know that my sisters have got a reasonable amount of interests that go with what various aspects of my parents. So my mother and my father were very artistic, both very accomplished painters, not professionally, but as a hobby. And my older sister is a very accomplished artist as well. Again, not professionally, but she is incredibly artistically minded. So I think it's when your parents are passionate about something, that does tend to rub off on the children.
Isn't one of your sister's pictures that she painted in your parents' living room, and didn't she make the mistake of painting it in an unventilated room?
Oh yeah, for her A-levels, she got high on the turpentine fumes. Not intentionally, it just happened. So consequently, her A-level art project is a bit out there because she's basically stoned.
Oh, you'll love this. I've just been sent a picture. Pound shops are selling Ouija boards for kids at
I've seen
£1. That should finish 2020 off nicely.
Yes, I can imagine. Yes,
Yes. Who had demonic possession for November?
Yes. So when you see an advert for Unleash the Kraken in 2020, it's not for a brand of rum. Peter Leyland asks, "Hi Jenny, are all your locomotives ready to run, or have you got a kit-built loco? Just curious." To be honest, the closest I've got to a kit-built loco is that Steampunk one that I built, and that's not really kit-built. That's kit-bashed, or bashed and embellished. I'm just looking over my locomotives. If I did have one, it would have been bought second-hand, built by somebody else.
I'm kind of considering getting a kit for a loco and just building one and seeing how well I do.
So sorry. I got visions of that. Excuse me, that newsstand kit I bought for you over a year ago that you've never done anything with.
Because you hid the glue, I couldn't do anything.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
You put it up here
Like
I'm going to come up.
I think actually the closest I've got to kit locomotives is the Enwin 3D ones up on the top, the Hunslets and the Fireless loco. But even then, they're on an existing chassis. It's one of those things, when you do model railways, I always say to people, if there's an aspect of railway modelling that you detest, that you hate, it's not a problem if you find a way of not having to do it. And for me, building kit locomotives and rolling stock is something I don't enjoy doing. So I buy ready to run. And I make no excuses for that, no pretensions for that. And I think, for a lot of people, say, for example, don't like doing DIY woodwork. They want a layout, effectively, bare bones of a layout that they can then get to work on what they see as the fun, enjoyable side of modelling. And it's why, actually, we did announce a product that was Enwin's 3D Lifestyle Unleashed. Launched the 4x1, and it's one that I know they're quite keen to get me to do a review on one of those, and we are going to sort that out. But things like that are a great way of cutting out the bits that you don't like doing. It's all right to ask a friend or somebody at the club, could you do my wiring, because I hate doing it. Or DCC fittings. Les gets me to do the DCC fitting of his locomotives because it's just not his thing. He wants locos DCC fitted, but it's not comfortable with doing the fitting himself, and that's absolutely fine. And I always get annoyed at the snooty people who go, "Oh yes, well, you're not a serious railway modeller because you're not hand whittling, hand carving your telegraph poles." I really despise that kind of elitism. At the end of the day, if there's something in your hobby that you don't enjoy doing, it's absolutely fine to find a shortcut so you don't have to. It's supposed to be about fun. Right. Let me just put the soapbox away. Right, okay. soapboxes out of the way.
For 5 minutes.
Flint Hills Model Railway, Jeff Hammond. How many watching for a pizza? Well, I would say 400. At some point, we'll break the 400 mark. We're at 291. Don't forget to tickle that like button and share us on social media. Let everybody know that they are welcome to join us here on the Jenny Monday Club. And we've been slowly going through some of the news. You may have seen earlier on, of course, the Project Genesis video that I did. Really excited by this, really looking forward to some of the livery samples. Now, just a quick reminder for these, the Wave 1, there's 3 waves that have been announced. Wave 1 is expected due Q2 next year. So we're looking sort of April, May, June sort of time. That gives you plenty of time to save up. I know there's always some people going, oh, they're too expensive. What, you're not paying me to take them? Oh, they're too expensive. Yeah, forget them. You know, a 4-coach pack from Hattons is, I think it's £110, which is actually, when you think of it, you know, that's less than what you'd be paying for the locomotive that's pulling it. And they really were exquisitely fine, detailed models. The EPs actually particularly show up the detail because they're not kind of blended into the paint. You can see the brass separately applied handles, grab rails, footboards, things like that. They really are nice. And I know that a lot of people are looking at them and probably already got a shopping basket that's got well over £1,000 in. I know I have. And so I think they're going to be, unless somebody pulls something out of the bag that is absolutely incredible next year, then there is a very good chance of the Hattons Genesis coaches stealing the show for the 2021 Rangers. That said, never say never. Dazza1977 asks, what era is your layout? I model multiple eras. I like pre-grouping. I'm a sucker for pre-grouping. But I also do Big 4, BR, Steam, and also BR Blue. I kind of start to peter out when sectorization kicks in, and I've got a hard cut-off of privatization. Just really cannot find my interest in privatization, well, post-privatization. And even then, sort of like 1990s, I'm losing interest by about 1992.
Everyone in the chat's talking about parts of the hobby that they're not keen on. Wardle Rhodes jumped in saying, talking of things we hate in the hobby, anyone want to come and ballast 27 metres of track for me?
And this actually illustrates the thing. You see, you always find somebody who enjoys certain tasks. And in all honesty, I find ballasting very relaxing.
That's because you put episodes of your favourite shows on in the background.
Well, yeah, that's one way of doing it. But no, I don't mind ballasting. I find it quite relaxing. And it's, in some respects, it's mystified me a little bit. Yeah, please go on, beam me up. It's mystified me a little bit, kind of people getting like, oh, I hate ballasting. Because to me, I quite like it. And in all honesty, I'd quite happily get somebody to come sort out my rat's nest of wiring. I hate electrical side of things. It's one of my least favourite things. So, you know, I'd do a trade with somebody. So I'll do your ballasting. You can come and do this horrible job that I despise doing. Right, Kelly Ashford, you are very hard to please, I have to say here. This is always the way it goes. Slow as a snail. What, you mean like real trains do? Sam never does that. All his engines go faster than that. Right, okay, well, I'm sure that...
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, a lot of people like trains to run at a prototypical speed. And when you actually work it out, prototypically, the speeds that these are going are actually what real trains do. Real trains don't do 250 miles an hour.
Well, modern ones do.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, you know, I know Sam a little bit through Facebook, and I know that he does things differently, and there is nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't mean that everybody has to do the same. You know, if I ran these at silly speeds, so, you know, it looks silly. If I wind this up and up and up, it looks silly. It'd probably derail as well. So there you go, Kelly Ashford, for you. So
It sounds like it's going to break. I would turn that down. It's coming off. It's coming off. Whoa. Whoa.
And
what
that's why we don't run them really fast. Right.
My goodness, Jen.
Gotcha. That is why we don't run trains fast. Now we're talking to people.
Jen, you've managed to...
I'm a menace, I know.
Do you want to switch...
Yeah, number 2.
Switch to number 2. So, what Jen has managed to do here, when the video actually comes up, is you managed to make them go so fast that one of them derailed and threw the red coach, the red wagon, from the middle to the back.
Yeah.
That's why you've now got a red one in the middle of the blues.
Right. But now we know what happens when you run them too fast. Let's not repeat that.
And that's the thing. This is why you go for prototypical. If people enjoy it, that's fine. What's come off?
Oh, there we are. Now it's coupling.
So it actually went so fast and so hard that the couplings fell off.
Yeah, it went back in time to a time before it had a coupling.
Yeah. Donkett's Model Railway does make a good point here. There is a middle ground between 25 miles an hour and 250 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of went overboard there.
I did.
Kelly says, when I say fast, I don't mean super fast.
Yes. It's like that line from The Lost Boys, where it's like, what does he say? It's like, fast does not mean warp speed.
Yeah. Simon Trent says, I wish we could see the derailment. I was amazed that you didn't press the button to switch to that.
I was too busy stopping a big crash. Right, anyway.
And Will Tucker says, Acura scale at Acura speed.
Sorry, Fran. Right, okay.
But yeah,
so for Kelly, we're gonna wind the speed up, but not as silly as it was.
Diaxi has a good point here. It's unfair to compare you to Sam's trains because you both have different priorities to look at, and that's it. You have your channel in a certain way. He has his channel in a certain way. There's an overlap, sure, but you're catering a lot to different areas, which is perfectly fine because this hobby isn't all about one group of people thinking and doing things in one way.
Right. Getting back to the questions, North End Siders Mother say 120 for 4 coaches isn't too bad really, but £60 for 1 coach is a bit much personally. Are they that much? I didn't think they were that much.
That doesn't make sense.
No, I thought they were about £33 for the single coach and 110 for the 4-pack.
Yes, because if it was 60 for 1 and 120 for a 4-pack, then it's basically buy 2, get 2 free.
Rachel Houston says, what is the preference, garden railway layout or loft layout? Now, I think both have their charms, advantages and disadvantages. What you will find in the garden is that scenically, things can be more challenging because you're dealing with actual nature, things that grow, weeds, pests, things like subsidence. There's a lot of issues in the garden, but garden railways can be exceptionally rewarding if you do them right. Likewise, an indoor model layout is great, especially in winter when you can't realistically do much with your garden layout. So I say, again...
Well, you ran your train through the snow.
I know. But again, it's a case of different strokes for different folks, and they both have advantages and disadvantages.
Duncan Watson has a very good point here. If you're setting your layout in the 70s, then all of your trains are going at the wrong speed. Because, according to him, whenever he was on a train back then, it was either very, very slow or stopped.
What was that, sorry?
So if you're modelling the 1970s, all your trains are going at the wrong speed. Because when he was on them, they were either going very, very slow, or they were stopped.
Yeah, you could always model them during a strike or something, maybe. Right. North End Sidings Model Railway. I bought a ballasting tool like a hopper you roll along the track. Works really well. Yeah, I've got one from Prozis. Backman actually sent me one. When we did GMRC, I think they sent all the teams a Prozis ballast hopper. And I did use it up here on Weir Yard. We did a video. It's like how to speed ballast like a pro or something like that. And I actually demonstrated it. And would I recommend it? Yes, very much. Especially if ballasting is not your thing. It does certainly make things a lot easier. But likewise, if you've got a lot of track to ballast, it can make the job much quicker, even if somebody does enjoy ballasting. So I do recommend those tools. They are very, very good.
Addy Pullen makes a very good point, which is what I was saying earlier on as well. Everyone brings something different to the hobby. And that's exactly it. If we were all the same, thinking the same and doing the same, we'd all get very bored very quickly. So that's how it is. Oh, apparently Jaxie is bagging old Dave on his alt account. Fair enough, you've done exactly what I did earlier on when I turned up as Whole Mouse Medium and then wondered why I couldn't block the trolls.
So I'm well behind here.
And how is this different from any other day?
Yeah, AD Pullen says that was hard to watch. I think that's the derailment. I was just like exasperated because it's like, oh, your trains aren't fast enough. It's like, well, there we go. That's where. Oh no, it's broken.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the things actually with that is that the wagons are very robust. So they've come off completely unscathed. Duncan Watson. Oh, yes, there you are. You've already read that. Pork Chop Express is trying to reach 88 miles per hour to go back in time. Now that's something I need to look around. I wonder if somebody does an 00 scale model of a DeLorean. Kelly Ashford.
Yes, they do.
I'm out of here. If Wardwell Road can't see I love sweet-smelling Stevies, he should keep it to himself. Now, come on, people. Play nice.
Okay, Jenny. Hattons has an Oxford diecast DeLorean time machine from Back to the Future 3.
Oh, is that the it's actually based on a VW Dune buggy, the actual prop from the movie, because there's the Aficionado. But what scale is it? 1:24 scale. That's like gauge 1. So that's quite big.
Oops.
Oh, careful now.
That sound there was my dropping my mouse. So it's not the right size. Oh, oh well.
Right, Belmont Junction, exactly. It's your layout, Jenny. Do what you like. If we all done the same, it would be very boring. I might do a short stream later if I can bother. Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, like so many things, if you really dislike a channel, then you can scroll by. I'm sure that there's a cat video or something like that. At the end of the day, there's so many different channels.
Yeah.
And as I always say,
don't waste your time watching stuff you don't like.
Yeah. It's like Terry Wogan always used to say. There's a certain type of person.
Liked him.
No, he was a bit sort of like chalk and cheese. But he always used to say there's a certain type of person that would sit by the radio desperately waiting to be offended so that they could complain. Right. Hello to the hello. This is an automated bot. Rule 1 Model Railways. Evening to you. Somerset Andy. Hello to you. Eoto 2001, smash the like button very much. Don't forget to tickle that like button. Share us on social media and also subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Tim Condrup asks, Jenny, how big is your layout? Mine is 13 by 8. I'm assuming that's 13 feet by 8 feet, because 13 meters by 8 meters, or indeed 13 miles by 8 miles, would be a huge layout. But I think we every week somebody asks. We're about 18 feet by 16 feet, is my guess.
You would love the one that was miles. It was 18 miles by 13 miles or something. You would love that. You would have a massive railway and you would sit on it. In the
corner of the world market and track for that. Will Tucker, seeing yours, Sam's and Hatton Dave's own videos on the Gemini coaches this evening. Sam has put out his video. We were
wondering.
I did know that Sam was also doing his video. I haven't seen Sam's video, but I'm told it's very different to mine, which is probably part of the reason that Hattons asked both myself and Sam to do videos, is because they knew that we'd kind of cater for different markets.
Yeah, you come at it from different angles as well.
Yeah. North End Sidings Model Railway. Speaking of ballasting, for setting ballast, I mixed it with this dry powder glue from, I think, a firm called something like Great Products or something. Anyway, you spray the ballast and it sets. Aha! I can show you exactly. So there you are. Ballast magic from Deluxe Materials.
You do like that stuff.
No, I'm not a big fan of it. I must be honest.
You use it a fair amount.
I use it because I've got it. I personally prefer the diluted PVA method.
Yeah.
But this is a different method of doing it. You mix this with the ballast. You've got to mix it good and proper, and then you spread it out like you would with ordinary ballast. but then you spray it with like a Windoline type bottle and water, and it does set it, and it does work. But I prefer doing things the other way. This is actually leftovers from... I accidentally ordered about 10 bottles of this when we did Great Model Railway Challenge. I thought it was the ready mixed liquid stuff, which is why I've got it. I have used it. It does work. It does exactly what it says on the bottle. But personally, I prefer other methods. Garthian, Kelly has left now. She moans about the diesels, even though you run both diesels and steam equally. Absolutely, you can't please all the people all the time, and
it's unfortunate. But
yeah,
look, if someone doesn't like something, that's fine. You don't have to.
Yeah,
watch
and I'm
it.
sure that Sam's Trains runs diesels as well. In fact, I absolutely know he does. So it's like, it's not like he's exclusively steam and I'm an exclusively diesel. It just happens to be at the moment we've just got diesels running. I have run Weir Yard in pre-grouping, grouping, BR steam. I do all the different eras, but actually my personal preference is about late 1970s, early 1980s BR blue. And that's, if left to my own devices, which I normally am, that's largely what stays on the layout, which is why when you look closely at the sidings, it's very rare that the wagons in the sidings change much. Change the angle
You
there.
were asking about the DeLorean in Orchid, so we've got it here on ckmodelcars.de, so it's a German site. DeLorean DMC-12, Back to the Future 3 style, 1 to 43 scale.
No, you need 172 through 172 to maybe 183. That's your sort of range.
172 scale, okay.
AD Pullen says Corgi do one. Hardy Hat says, hello you silly humans. Sorry I've missed the past few streams, but I've been taking care of my grandfather with cancer and he doesn't have internet.
Oh my goodness,
I do
sorry.
hope that he's doing as well as can be expected. I do understand. I know my grandfather at the moment has, I mean, he's had a good innings. He's about 90, how old's my guy? About 96, 97. But he's got cancer as well. But you know, it's nobody lives forever, unfortunately.
Sadly.
Diaxi says it needs to be complete with flux capacitor. Well, of course.
I'll get you a Batmobile.
In what scale?
No, actually I can't. It's 132. Everything's 132.
Yeah.
No one's doing it.
Big hello to O. O'Neill as well. The Growler Blackwood N-gauge layout. Donget's Model Railway. If you file a V groove in your track at 24cm intervals, you'll very, very quickly get your trains at the right speed because they'll sound right. Yeah, it'll be like clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clickety-clack. It's a bit like running them on set track would have roughly the same effect. AD Pullen, Jenny, what your opinion on Hornby painted samples of the W1? What I've seen, they look absolutely great, and following on from reviewing the Hattons EPs of the Genesis coaches, I am actually minded to tentatively approach Hornby and see whether they would be agreeable to lending out samples for review at certain points. I know I've reached out to some manufacturers, and it can be very changeable insofar as some manufacturers take a view, quite understandably, that it's like, well, we don't want anybody to look at them too closely because they're not actually the final product. And I think that they're very keen to not make people think, oh, I've seen a picture, that wasn't right, so I'm not buying it. Even though the whole purpose of the engineering prototypes is to flag up things that need tweaking and changing. Other manufacturers have been like, okay, well, yeah, once we're happy with the samples, we, in principle, are happy to lend them out. So I might explore what we can do there, but no promises. You know, quite understandable if they go, actually, no, we're not going to do that. And, you know, it's just, it's the prerogative of the manufacturers, and nobody can blame them otherwise.
I can't find you a 1 to 72 scale
I knew you
DeLorean.
couldn't.
I have, however, found a 1 to 72 scale USS Enterprise.
How big is it?
Big.
I bet it is. Is this the actual ship?
Yeah, the battleship.
Yeah, I've seen.
Not the spaceship.
I've seen the pictures of it. Yeah. Swindon 1969. I like pretty trains, be they diesel or steam. Very much like me. John Slade says I like both diesel and steam. JD Dowd says born too late. I think that's probably yeah. Right. Ham Shackleton says Garthian. I am not a number. Yeah, Garthian is a fan of The Prisoner. And if anybody can explain the ending of The Prisoner that actually goes one step beyond, oh dear, we've got cancelled, let's just round this stuff off, then I'd like to... What's the deal with the final episode of The Prisoner? Right. Hi, Ken. Good evening, rail lovers. I missed everything. I was driving. Don't worry. Sorry, bad gas from the... burpy gas from the Coke. We talked a little bit about the... I know it probably sounds like I'm on repeat, but for the newcomers, we talked a bit about the Project Genesis coaches. If you haven't seen it already, after the stream, do go back and check out the video review that we did on the channel. Very kindly lent the engineering prototype samples by Hattons. Really grateful to them for that. And the video basically explains all. There's nothing that I can tell you now that isn't in detail in the videos. Peter Leyland, the Carlisle layout that featured in the Rowan model in EM is 30, I'm assuming that should say 30 miles long. I'm assuming it's that 30 scale miles long. Let's have a look. Meters, that makes more sense. Garthian, I set the group 6 years ago, now have over 2.2 thousand members, very few problems over the years too. Oh, the prisoner one.
Tim Dowd says, can you run a train on every line, including the sidings, on your layout?
Do I what, sorry?
Can you... Are you set up so can you run a train on every line on this layout, including the sidings?
It is possible for a locomotive to have access every inch of track.
Except over in that corner.
No, that is accessible.
You finally put the wiring in, because you told me you weren't going to bother.
It is wired up.
Excellent.
So yeah, every single inch of track on Weir Yard is technically possible for a train to traverse. Now, I get my enjoyment from building models, not really from running them. So most of the track that you see here becomes basically, if I find an angle so you can see all of the rakes of wagons, they just become glorified storage roads. Those wagons you see there don't actually often move, and it's almost like they just fill the space. And sometimes actually, if it wasn't for the fact that I've run out of space to store stuff, I quite like the look of Weir Yard when it's completely empty, when all the sidings are empty, so you can actually marvel at the ballasting and other small details that are obscured by the wagons. I quite like that. But yeah, every single piece of Weir Yard is live. You can run a train anywhere, absolutely anywhere. Now, we have done an Access All Areas camera wagon tour of Weir Yard in the past. It wasn't actually complete at the time. And that did run through the yard areas. And that kind of gives a sense of what you can do with Weir Yard. So, like even the locomotive TMD, the turntable is wired up, and you can actually drive a locomotive onto it, wind it round, and drive it off onto any of the sidings. It is all wired up to work. Luke Craig, evening team. Thank you for entertaining me on a Monday evening. You're absolutely welcome. Do you know of any ready-to-run O-gauge short wheel-based brake vans, Northeastern or LMS or similar? Also, does anyone else do ready-to-run wagons beside Daypole? Well, I'm assuming that you know about the Daypole wagons. They've got the 20-ton DR standard and also the Southern pillbox. So I assume you know about those. Helgen also do ready-to-run O-gauge wagons, but they seem to be more aimed towards the more modern image eras. So you've got things like OBA wagons or something like that. I think the Dogfish wagons are available, and there's also certainly tankers as well, but later style tankers. Lionheart Trains also do O-gauge wagons. They do 16-ton mineral wagons. They do various different designs and diagrams of open wagons like coal wagons, wooden wagons. Minerva, they do wagons. I don't know if they've got any brake vans in their ready to run range. Certainly they've got some ex-Great Western gunpowder wagons, which really do look lovely. I've got one of those. Hi Kent says, you can please most people, just not Kelly. And
I think that's gone a little far.
yeah, I do understand Kelly, and I know that sometimes online what people type, it's very easy to misconstrue. So don't read too deeply into what some people do say in the chat, because it's not meant that way. I think it's the best way to say. Dazza 1977, don't you start. When will you run a steam engine?
Next week we'll do a Steam special.
Yeah, actually, at the end of the stream tonight, I'm going to strip all the rolling stock off. I think I'm going to go BR Steam. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll just go to sort of, which it's like Era 5. So we'll go Era 5 and Weir Yard. I will clear out, turf out all the rolling stock, and I will replenish it with the stuff that's in storage. So next week, do tune into the Monday Club, because we will be going down that route. Gareth Waite says, hello Jenny and one and everyone, how are you all? Yeah, we're grand, thank you very much. I hope you're well as well. White Wall Wheels 1 Hardcore MOH, get a DeLorean made with a new printer. And actually, that's a very interesting point. 3D printers do seem to be very rapidly becoming the future, not just in railway modelling, but a whole host of other hobbies and also real-world practical applications too. But certainly, that is an interesting point. Now, I might need to get in touch with PD Models. That's Paul Tyre. He's up on Orkney. PD Models, they've got a website. We did review some of their 3D printed items before. And I might actually talk to him about a DeLorean. Now, there may be copyright issues in producing the Back to the Future DeLorean, but certainly I can't imagine there being an issue in actually 3D printing an actual DeLorean and then basically leave it up to aftermarket specialists to do a bit of a naughty 2-in-1 conversion to make the Back to the Future DeLorean. And that might be quite an interesting little project for one of the smaller companies. I think there is a lot of scope from nostalgia to put some of these things in. I did actually have the Jaguar from Austin Powers, which was available through Oxford Diecast did it. It's the Jaguar, but with the Union flag and with Jaguar written on the back. But I gave that away to Simon A.C. Martin, better known as Mr. Volvo, and also the author of the Great British Railway Stories. I hope I'm saying that correct. But he was like, oh wow, I so want that. And it was sold out everywhere at the time. I got the last one, so I gave that to him. I think somewhere knocking about, I've got the Mini from Austin Powers 3. So some of these things do turn up. I'm trying to think of other celebrity cars. The Harry Potter Ford Anglia has turned up in model form. So they do turn up. A Batmobile might be quite nice. The original 1960s Adam West Batmobile.
That would be nice.
Yeah, but Wamgok, yeah, Steamfest next week. We're going to go all Steam all the time. So get the word out to Kelly that she will enjoy next week. Moreland Model Railway Andy, hi to you. Hermitage Road, hi. Gary Lewis, hi Jenny. I decided to use gravel mats over cork mats with track laid on that. Then when I make changes, can reuse trucking points without too much damage. All good ideas. David Scott, try using disposable icing bags to put down the dry ballast. Very controllable. Yeah, there's lots of different techniques. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, you're doing that wrong, because there is no one single right way to do anything. And I found over the years that, you know, if you find a really great method that works for you, absolutely fine and dandy. Thomas Whittington, I loved it when you ran your King class 2 weeks ago. More GWL coaches on that train. Yeah, that was actually the Hornby Super Detail new issue, King, and it is a really great locomotive. Yeah, maybe we'll do a Steam Gala next week. We'll pimp that. So a stream up a hashtag Monday Club Steam or something like that, or Steam Gala. Hashtag Monday Club Steam Gala. Right, Odin Viking. Right, can I get O-gauge training? O-gauge. I can't really do O-gauge up here, but
no. But one day when we have the nice weather in the summer, and we decide that's a good idea to do it because we've got everything set up, we'll do an outdoor steam session. Maybe,
yeah. Don Gets Model Railway. Do you have a Black 5 or an 8F? Neither of them. I have to say, I really do want to get the most up-to-date Hornby Super Detail 8F, but I really want it in BR, guys. There's 4 numbers that I would really love to see. I've been pestering. Well, actually, pestering is a bit of a strong word, but I keep dropping hints to Simon Kohler. I really want to see 48073, 48094, 48158 and 48109. Any or all of those 4 in BR Late Crest Black would be more than welcome because, of course, those are the identities of the Hornby 008Fs. Big hello to Not Lobia Model World. Great to see you. Growler Blackwood Engage layout. Planning what I can do with the extra space I'll have when my layout moves to its new home, considering a couple of helixes to the lower level storage. Yeah, I've seen that Sparky 107's done some great helix work. Now, would it be, the plural would be helices, wouldn't it? Or is it that, am I misidentifying the root of the word?
Could be helices or helixes. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Alf Crisp.
Oh wow.
That's really generous, thank you.
I'm going to scroll through to, my god, I'm well behind. Alf Crisp has donated £4.99 on the super chat. Thank you ever so much for that. That is incredibly generous. I have Instagram.
You do, yes.
Apparently I have Instagram.
I do use to photograph things and send all kinds out.
Yeah, I haven't used that in ages. You'll have to take control of that for me.
Fine.
I do use my Twitter in a sporadic form, so if you want to check me out over on Twitter, then you can do. I can't remember who I am.
My goodness, your last photo on Instagram was when you installed the turntable.
Yeah, I'm not really a big user of social media, it must be said.
Yeah, you've only just got back on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm, as I said, very sporadic. I'm just going to check the paypal.me, making sure I haven't forgotten to thank anybody. Nope, I haven't.
No. Shackleton says, nice day, in summer, both at the same time, in the UK.
Yeah.
It does happen, stranger things have happened.
Also, don't forget, we're going to be having a few of your videos that you sent in, sending in to Zoe at zoerobinson.com. So that's Zoe spelt as in the original Greek way, so that's Z-O-E. There is no Y in there, so it's Z-O-E at zoerobinson.com. You can send the link. The URL only, don't attach the video because it will break down and not get through. But just the URL to your own video, and you too can get your railway featured on the Jenny Monday Club.
And it has to be your own video.
Yeah, don't send through links to other people's videos that you quite like, because we can't play them. It has to be your own video.
Basically, we can't play it because we don't have the copyright.
Yeah, it's basically a bit rude. Right, Hythe Kent says helices. I like that, see, because I talk about the motorway matrices. So plural of matrix is matrices. I'm a big stickler for correct plurals. So 1 stadium, 2 stadia. 1 referendum, 2 referenda.
Let's not get into that.
But then multiple bacteria. Oh my word. Alf Crisp has just donated £19.99. Oh my word, that is incredibly that is incredibly generous of you. So I think actually, Alf Crisp, do you want to suggest a locomotive? I think with that kind of a donation, it would be incredibly rude of me not to offer you up the opportunity to. Is there a particular locomotive you might like to see running? James Petts, I love your turn of phrase that I approve of Jenny's correct plurals. Now also don't forget, media is plural. Medium is the singular. So
the last time we were a medium was many, many years ago.
Yes. But and also, bacteria is plural. Bacterium is the singular. So there you are. See, it's educational as well as fun, isn't it?
My goodness.
Graham Koch says, replying to somebody else. North End Sidings, Model Railway, Jenny Zoe, what's your favourite diesel shunter that isn't a Gronk? Mine would be the four-wheel Sentinels and or Huntslet's 07s. Class 07s, there's a couple down here. So let's just make sure. Alf Crisp, if you want to request a locomotive that we will put on because of your generous donation on Super Chat, and just making sure I don't miss anything. Paul Jessen, Canadians don't care about correct plurals, unlike we New Zealanders who would obsess about that. I did Latin at school, albeit briefly, and I also learned a number of...
Caecilius est in via?
I know. Caecilius est in horto. Caecilius in horto circumspectat. Yes.
Grumio est in via.
Yeah, Grumio and Clemens. Yes, we all did Cambridge Latin. Withen Model Railway, hello to you. AD Pullen, thanks all for the stream. Keep safe. You keep safe as well. I know it's very, very difficult times at the moment, which is probably why more than ever it is so important to keep the Monday Club going. Now, we had toyed with taking a break, but actually I've been talked into making sure that we keep going. I don't think we've missed a Jenny Monday Club in about 18 months. There's a lot of them, but...
I know we did miss one and people got so upset.
I know.
But you were just so ill you couldn't even stand up, never mind.
Yeah. Z Fantasy Train says sheeps. No! Sheep is like moose. The singular and the plural is exactly the same. Rule 1 Model Railways asks, is the plural for Jenny with the I? No, the plural of Jenny is trouble.
No, that's the collective term, a trouble of Jennies.
But yeah, Class 7 diesel shunters, do love those. Going to the dogs. Hi ladies, hi everyone. Apologies for the late arrival. You are never late, you are fashionably on time. Do not worry. Tim Condrup asks, have you got a Class 150? Mine is an Arriva Train Wales. Now I know Cottesmore will be, actually no, Cottesmore's gone all regional railways, which I very much approve of regional railways. It's one of my favourite sectorisation liveries. Regional railways and intercity swallow. The two liveries which I make an exception in my dislike of most sectorisation liveries. Really do love those two. Although actually Network Southeast, I've just spotted Network Southeast coaches over there. No, we've just missed them, so... Oh my word.
Oh my goodness.
Alf Crisp has donated another £4.90. You know, you don't need to donate every time you comment.
Alf, we don't really do politics here.
Yeah, bit off topic, but Joe Biden or Donald Trump to win.
To be honest with you, we're in Britain, so it's not going to affect us.
Yeah, in some respects, it's and to a little extent, it's not our business. We don't get to vote. Whoever's the American president doesn't run Britain. Well, not officially anyway.
And one of our friends gets to vote, but they're not here to talk.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been of the opinion that politics is a very personal thing. I never tell people how I vote. I'm
a politician, and Jen doesn't tell me how she votes.
I once stood for election, and one thing I will tell you is I didn't vote for myself because I thought that it was like the dumb thing to do. But I have to say, it's a lot of people have very strong opinions on this, but I'm going to plead the fifth, and it is the fifth, isn't it? I don't know. I'm not up on the American Constitution.
Yes, pleading the fifth.
Yeah,
although actually it wouldn't be the fifth for you because you're not incriminating yourself in a trial. Therefore, you can't plead the fifth. You can just say it's not your
There
business.
could be a trial that I don't yet know about. But no, I'm going to keep my opinions politically to myself. I know a lot of people have very strong political opinions. We do try and keep the channel politics free.
Although
So there
I
we
will
are.
say one thing before we finish. When you mentioned that you didn't vote for yourself, isn't it a weird experience to go into a polling booth and see your name on the ballot?
Yeah, it feels like it's like, oh my word, there's somebody with my name. Yeah, anyway, Melchester Model Railway says, Jenny for president. I believe until they add an amendment to the American Constitution, I wouldn't be allowed by virtue of not being an American-born citizen, in the same way that Arnold Schwarzenegger can't become president unless they have an amendment that says he can.
Yeah, the Demolition Man amendment.
Mm.
George
Right.
Botterini says, two smart ladies. Where?
Where? Keep them talking. I need their autograph. Philip Page says, I always voted for Zoe. Of course, Philip Page, local lad. Thank you very much.
You're making me blush here, Philip.
You are as well. But Swindon 1969 says, really odd seeing your name on a ballot paper. J. Paul Anderson says, Pompey Magnus, great man. Duncan Watson says, I love you, Monday Club. I recently had the fear of having the coronavirus, but I'm all clear, thank goodness. Oh, very, very pleased to. I know it's potentially quite a scary thing.
It is.
But
from my point of view, not just scary from, oh, I might have it. It's like, who have I given it to?
there is that as well. But I mean, you as well are one of the at-risk people, so you know it could be quite dangerous.
Melchester Model Railway says Jenny is supreme dictator of Genitopia. That's not true. You're the empress of Genitopia because you declared that this model railway here is your empire.
Well, funnily enough, there's an unused piece that we filmed for Biggest Little Railway, where I get asked by Hadrian Spooner. Because we were talking about Dick Strawbridge being a dictator, and they're saying like, oh, why can't he be democratic? And Hadrian Spooner turned to me and said, "So what's your view on democracy?" And I just said, "Oh, democracy's great as long as everybody else wants the same thing as me." And it never made the cut, but that's one of my thoughts on the issue. Democracy is brilliant as long as everybody else wants the same thing as me. Alf, you don't have to keep giving me money. Look, it is incredibly appreciated.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you ever so much for donating another £4.99 on Super Chat. It is incredibly generous, but like we said before, you don't have to donate to have a comment read out. But that is very, very generous. At this rate, I'm going to have an 8F by the end of the thing. But thank you ever so much. And like I said, if there is a particular locomotive you want to see me run, then you've been so generous during this stream that I will happily put that on and run it. So do in the comment, and you don't have to donate when you say, just tell me and we'll put it on. But thank you ever so much. Mike and Sue Putnam Junction says black and white for some of the Steam stream, Gary. Wiven Model Railway says, I wanted to be Prime Minister. Having seen what Boris has put with, I'm thankful I never was. I think that being in power is a thankless task. It doesn't matter what you do, there will always be somebody who doesn't like what you're doing.
I said this in my stand-up show, what was it, Schrodinger's Culprit, on election night and the run-up to election. You are responsible for everything. If a duck farts and someone doesn't like to smell it, it's your fault. That's how it is.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But the best part is, on the evening after the polls have closed but the count isn't finished, you are Schrodinger's culprit, both to blame for everything and not to blame because you couldn't possibly have changed anything at the same time.
Yeah, Wardle Road is having to head off, so right, I've got to go now. Stay safe all. New video later in the week, hopefully.
Looking forward to it?
Yeah, definitely. Saw your live shunting video. You're really getting into this 5-inch gauge stuff. But certainly, don't forget everybody, check out over at Wardle Road to get your daily dose, your fix of 5-inch gauge goodness and all the other great stuff that he's doing. I know he's building a new layout because he was asking about Scaledale, resin buildings and 00. So I'd love to see what he's got cooking up with that. But also, don't forget, I'm always happy for other people to plug their YouTube channel. Make sure it's your own personal YouTube channel, and preferably about trains. Don't go wild, you know, just don't spam the comments. But certainly, I am quite happy for people to let other people know that they've got a YouTube channel going on. Donegal Dad says, bye, Ollie. Wiven Model Railway, Schrodinger's cat. Yeah, Schrodinger's cat is very misunderstood at times. People think it's like
Schrodinger's cat is both understood and not understood at the same time.
Ah, see what you did there.
It's almost like I'm a stand-up comedian.
Tim Condrip says, are you going videos tonight? Yes, we will be.
We will be. We have about 5.
So
George says, hey, so is any of you stand up on YouTube? Actually, it is. I'll link it I'll link it in the chat in a moment. I did my entire set, Schrodinger's Culprit, when I was first starting out. My first ever open mic night was on Second Life, because during the lockdown and before that, it was hard to get a place on an open mic. So I did do a version in Second Life, which is like virtual reality, but I'll link that in the chat. But please remember, it's from right when I started, so my presentation isn't all that brilliant.
I'm just scanning to again, Alf Crisp. If you really want me to run something in particular, because you've been ever so generous, I'm happy to do that. But just making sure I haven't missed a comment from you. Ian Hilper says, "Run Motor Rail Steam Coach 93." I'm afraid I don't have that one. Peter Leyland. Oh, so you're responding to Wiffen Model Railway.
Ben told us to see the TARDIS.
Yeah. Gary Lewis, for both diesel and steam in black and white cinematic. So Zoe can give the impression they're going faster than they actually are on Weir Yard.
I can do that. I'll make a nice special video for next week's Steam.
Let's have a look. Right, so are you prepping the videos, getting them all sorted?
I'm pretty much ready.
So like I say, last chance saloon for anybody sending over their videos to be shown on I keep thinking of Tony Hart, and let's go over to have a look at some of your pictures in the gallery. And I can't even remember what the music they used to use was, but it was always very soothing. I'm sure it was filmed in his own apartment or something. I
don't know. Going to the dog says, thanks for showing my layout last week, ladies. I picked up a few subscribers, so thank you.
Absolutely welcome. Always, and we know how difficult. Oh, that 31 is starting to make a whiny noise. I'm just gonna slow her down a bit because they've got a rubber band drive to the fan, so the fan spins round in the roof. But sometimes they can get a bit squealy. There we are. That's a bit better. But yeah, absolutely. We're absolutely happy to show off you guys' videos because we know how difficult it is to get started on YouTube, but also it's great to be able to see how other people have done things because essentially, somebody just donated again.
No.
Oh my god. I'm sure somebody.
Are you not seeing someone talking to you in there?
For some reason, it's gone. It's rewound me. Have I missed something here? For some reason, it rewound me by about 20 minutes. Weird.
Bentley says, Jenny, those sheep are so well behaved, they never move. Oh, it's magic. So, I am bringing up now on the screen all of the list of Monday Club stuff. So actually, Hythe Kent asks, who has sound in their Hornby Terriers? I know that some people have managed it, but as I said at the beginning of the stream, sound in a Hornby Terrier is quite a challenge. It can be done, but you have to pick your hardware very, very carefully, and I believe that some modification is required, and it's still a very tight squeeze. Now, as I said in the news section, South Eastern and Chatham Railway livery of the Rails Dapol Terrier are starting to come through. These terriers natively support a sound installation. Indeed, they come pre-fitted with the actual speaker in place. So all you need to do is add in a Next 18 sound chip. The DCC Sound fitted ones are on their way. I spoke to Oliver Davies at Rails earlier today, and he was thinking of few weeks. Essentially, the sound fitted terriers, they're being fitted and tested
at Dapol. Dapol are very keen to make sure that all is well before they release them to rails. So that's where we're up to on those. So they are on their way. And anybody who was asking about the original, the first releases, so these include the original BR Black version, I think there was a Southern version, and there was two others. I'm trying to remember which one. There was the Gypsy Hill as well. If you've ordered the sound-fitted versions of those will be coming. They've kind of gone to the back of the queue, so to speak. So they are on the way. They're not sold out. They're not mysteriously disappeared, but they will be arriving. So again, ones to look out for.
Okay, so we have 4 videos and some photos to show off this week for the Monday Club.
Thank you very much.
Railway tour.
Yeah, just very, very quick. Flymo Chairman 1, thank you very much for sharing Somerset Andy's channel there. I know putting an actual link in the comments, it has to be approved by the mods. It's just the way YouTube works, but thank you very much for making that live. Dazza 1977 North End Sidings Railway Strawberry Jam with butter for me. Dazza 1977 asks, Jenny, do your steam engines, have they got I presume that sound chips in there? Some of them do. Again, with the diesels, some of them do.
Elfinholm Engage Model Railway says the music was Left Bank 2 by the Novel Tones.
Oh, what? Tony Hart's Gallery?
Yes, on Vision On. Left Bank 2. Yes, it rings a bell now because we looked it up several years ago.
Is that the one that goes do 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 do?
Yeah.
Right, write that down. We need to play that on YouTube afterwards. I need a bit of nostalgia. And like Morph was another thing. Morph was part of Tony Hart. Very early Aardman Animations, I believe, but I'm not clear yet whether Tony Hart was kind of there at the ground floor and kind of Aardman Animations came from Tony Hart working with various people and Morph getting created, or whether Aardman Animations were the people that they brought in. NI Railways 4000 class. Jenny, I'm so sorry to have to keep commenting this, but I have a question. Would you ever look at anything Irish? I have to say, some of the models do look great. The only potential issue for me is that I do worry about the track gauge. Now, 00 is kind of narrow gauge anyway. The track gauge should be something like 18.83 millimeters to be accurate. It's actually 16.5. So the Irish models I've seen are running on 00 track and appear to be in 4 millimeter. But Irish Railways, I think it's 5'3". So they're a good 4.5, 5 inches wider. So my thoughts are, no, don't put it there.
Doesn't work now,
My thoughts are that they're going to look a bit peculiar, but I did look at some of the Murphy's models, special commissions, and there are some really, really nice models. As to whether I'd ever consider them, I don't think they're in keeping with what I model, but never say never. I know Accurascale do some great Irish outline models as well as their UK outline stuff, so there has probably never been a better time to model Irish railways. Right, we're going to go over to the very first of your videos. Crossways Point Junction says, thank you for showing my video also, Jenny, so you're absolutely welcome. Richie Download Festival Goer, big hello to you. Oh, you've decided to change from 00 to O gauge. I must admit, if I had less 00, if good quality ready to run O gauge had come out earlier in my modelling career, I think I would have gone down the O gauge route. Some of the models that come through now really are great. Right, are we ready to move over?
The first one is Hornby and Bachmann Diesels and DMU collection from Tim Condra.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay, we are going live now.
So we've got, I don't know what turntable that is. It's
no, that's the Hornby one with a we've got a Bachmann Class 3 on the turntable. I do like the Bachmann Class 3s, the new tooled versions. We've got the Bachmann. Did you remember the sound? Just check on
the sound is off.
Good, because I know you've made that mistake before. Thomas, the tank engine going on, and a Class 8 Gronkington P Gronkster there.
We do love a
yeah, 08011. Yeah, that was.
That's a nice livery.
It's a Bachmann one. That was the oldest.
Whoa, why is it stopped?
It's just a bandwidth, I think. Certainly, that's a livery that was in the Bachmann catalogue a couple of years ago. I very nearly thought about picking that up, but for some reason didn't. But it is a lovely livery. Then we've got the London Transport 57XX pannier. I spy a 37 in train load metal sector in the background. Bachmann all over green, class 3.
And Melchester Model Railway says, is that Duck? I'm assuming...
I think it was either Duck or Oliver. I noticed a definite grey. That's Duck. That over there is class 37.
It's got an interesting livery to it.
Yeah, train load metal sector, I think, or petroleum sector. Daz in 1977 says, well, I'm going to thank you for great entertainment. Absolutely welcome. I've got to go back to modding the Dawlish Beach cameras. Oh my.
I don't know what that is, but that sounds
They have cameras that actually, they're like webcams at
Right.
Dawlish Seawall, so you can actually watch the trains go by.
That's nice.
What is that? I've got one. I've got the new Daypole one. That's the previous Hornby version of the GWR Parcels rail car.
Oh,
is
right,
that number 17? Oh no, it's number 34. I've got number 17. Daypole recently brought out a model of that, and they very generously sent one over for me to review. Very, very happy with it. Interesting model. That's a class 55. Is that the old Hornby Railroad model? I'm actually hoping at some point that Hornby release a TTS sound decoder for those. I think it's all dependent on them re-releasing the Railroad Class 55. Certainly for those people on a very stringent budget, I could see it having a complementary market to the upcoming Acura Scale Class 55. That's a Hornby Class 25. I can never remember, is it a 25.0 or a 25.1?
I like the way his camera quickly switches focus. That's nice. Oh, that's interesting. Ham Shackleton says, I'm waiting to see someone model Dawlish Station in a storm. That would be quite an interesting challenge, wouldn't it?
Les Cliff of Not Lobia fame, he has done some very energetic water effects in the past. I think that's maybe one that he might consider. I love your storage there. Those drawers really do store the stock really easily. We're getting a bit of lag on that.
Okay, shall we move on?
Yeah, no worries. But look, thank you very much for
thank you, Tim.
sending over that video.
Can you...
Oh, yeah, sorry. So I'm going to go to that.
Okay.
Paul Jessen says, if you mention Dawlish, I can only think of the Bucket Woman. As in, Hyacinth Bouquet, Lady of the House speaking. Duncan Watson, I don't know where to start with what you do on here. I have some work to do before I can start my layout in 00. Sometimes, yeah, especially with things like loft conversions, I had to convert this room before I could start the layout. It can impinge on actual model making, unfortunately.
Okay, next up we have another visit to the Kitchen Railway Company. Jenny, if you could
Are we
press
ready?
the button. Yes.
So we're going to press the magic button.
A test of his cube cam, right.
Oh, this is I do
This
love
is
these.
nice.
These onboard cameras are getting great. When we first started with what we called the action cam, they were quite unusual, but I love the way that they've got smaller and easier to use.
Yeah, so you get some great shots.
Very much, because you're down in the action. It really does work well. Simon Trains MRS says Deltic sounds awesome. Very much, and I think a budget TTS Class 55 decoder from Hornby would very much, I think that they would do well on the market. Ben Tullett says, I have a week off work coming and hope to get more of my layout ready to run. I want to get most of the messy plaster done on a tunnel hill. Robin Slower says, I've got a YouTube channel. If it's model railway related and clean, then we're quite happy for you to plug your channel. Do let us know which one it is.
Ben Tullett says the kitchen layout's my favourite. To be honest with you, I really like it as well.
It is
It's got
great.
a different style that you don't normally see.
It's got this very fun play value to it.
And some of the angles that he's got with that little camera, they're superb. It's really well done.
Yeah.
So thank you for sending that over.
Mhm.
Philip Page, thank you very much.
Richard Swiderski as well says great camera view.
Yeah.
Definitely. Tim Condrip says thank you very much for showing my layout. You're absolutely welcome. Thank you ever so much for letting us show that. Because obviously we can only do this when people send over their links to our channel. Oh, what's going on there?
This one is from Logan Clary and it's called Gronk. And it's a little bit psychedelic. So, if you were to do the honours, my dear.
Okay, so
this is.
I wonder if there's music to go with this.
This looks like the kind of thing that you would see on an Amiga.
Oh yeah, one
Amiga
of those.
Demo. Don't know who this is. Is this a Doctor Who thing?
I don't know.
I think it is. I think it's a Doctor Who style intro. Short Gronkit.
So class 37, and if I'm not mistaken, the front nose of a class 40. I think that is, or certainly.
Simon Train says, "Does the kitchen layout deliver to your coffee?"
Oh, it should do.
That would be cool.
Ham Shackleton has just posted the link to the Dawlish Beach webcam. Thank you very much for that.
Here comes the Gronk.
Flymo Chairman 1, thank you very much for that. Robin Silver's YouTube channel there.
This is a very interesting look for the Gronk.
It's a Hornby Railroad Gronk. So very, very reliable mechanisms. It's been around since the 60s, I think.
Is it a flat blue livery on the side there?
That does look to be a BR Rail Blue livery. I like your transit van. I think that's a transit van. I would guess at a... not that one, the yellow one was a Mark 1 transit van would be my guess.
Okay, I'm going to start putting the links for what we've seen so far into the YouTube chat.
Ben Tullett says, I might, when I'm ready, send in a video of my layout. Absolutely welcome, and we do welcome layouts in all stages of construction. And quite often, it's really nice to follow the construction of a layout and also get some ideas and inspiration.
Yes.
With things like how you've constructed various bits and pieces.
We've said this
some good
before,
I love that transit van. Is it Oxford diecast? But you're getting some really good slow speed running on that. Ah, the Bachmann sleeping cars, I think that is. Great models. Richard Swiderski says, Gronk action. North End Sidings Model Railway says, that's an old Gronk. It is, but you know, they are bulletproof reliable. Somerset Andy says, Jenny, Hornby a few years had their Class 56s with TTS sound. Why don't they release a new 56 TTS sound chip? I don't know. I mean, it took them a long time to re-release the Class 8 and the Class 31. Now, there may be issues with supply. I don't know. I will pose that question, actually, to Hornby and ask them about reissuing of previously issued TTS chips. And for a long time, the Class 47 chip just wasn't out there.
Oh, Garfield says he's going to send something special in a video next week, so that'll be nice.
Very much looking forward to it. I wonder if it's... I know he does volunteer, amongst other places, at the Fistinio Railway.
Hang on, I've just got to jump that back a little bit. What was it in that thing the Gronk is sending there? It looked like animals. Is it a pile of pigs?
A pile of pigs? I don't know. I couldn't tell. But thank you very much for sending that in. That was really great. Philip Page says, thank you for showing my video, ladies. Thank you very much. Logan Clary says, his name is Derek.
Logan, can you tell us what's in that? Is that a pile of pigs?
We're thinking it's a pile of pigs, but we're not entirely sure. We only got a glimpse of that. Flymo Chairman 1, has it got the auto-release tension lock, that old Grunk? I don't know. Logan Clary says hammer beads. Oh, Tim Condrip says, I'm going to send you a video of my new Battle of Britain, my new favourite engine. They are lovely. Is that rebuilt or unrebuilt? So we're getting some photos here. So these are like 3D. So is this for now? Or
yeah,
for
this is Guion Davies. So if you can bring this up.
So we're going to bring up...
this is Guion Davies. I'm not sure what it is.
It's a small shunting layout, but it does have, with the run round loop, that actually is a lot of operational interest.
So we've got a new layout he's working on in 00. So you want to talk us through what's on screen there, Jack?
So what we've got there is a line in on the back from the right. Looks to be a hidden entrance, probably from a cassette or a sector plate behind those trees. And then it's actually quite simple. There's 4 points, but because you've got the run round loop, there's actually a lot of scope there for carefully shunting stuff around. Something just stopped.
I did not do anything. Wasn't my fault. I didn't do it.
I think it jammed in the tunnel.
Oh my goodness. Do you want me to pull it back? Gently pull.
Yeah, pull it back. And then, yeah, that's fine. I'll leave that be. It's the couplings. It slipped the coupling is what it's done.
Right.
Right. So, have you got the next picture?
I do, yes. Now this is This is really caught my eye.
What program are you using to render these? Because it really gives a sense of how a model railway will look. Is this a proprietary program, or is this one that you've rendered yourself in something like Photoshop? Because I like
the rendered in Photoshop.
Well, so I don't know. I'm not computer savvy.
It'll be a CAD program.
I like it because
it
really gives you a sense of what the model layout is going to look like.
I'm betting if this isn't a specialist program for model railway, then it's something like Autodesk.
Possibly, yeah. David Scott says, good night from Sweden. Great club night as usual. Thank you very much, and thank you ever so much for joining us. It's been great to have your company. Don't forget to tickle that like button, and hopefully we'll see you again next week as well. You take care of yourself until then.
This is another interesting angle. Now this one looks an awful lot more like an architect's drawing on paper. It really gives you an idea of the shading.
Gwian Reese Davies says, all modelled from scratch using SketchUp.
SketchUp, oh my goodness, yes,
What's SketchUp?
Of course. Yeah, SketchUp is, if I remember correctly, it's a free browser-based 3D thing.
Right, I mean, this is really nice. You've obviously put a lot of work in, and it really does look the part. And like I said, it gives you an excellent sense of how the model railway will ultimately look.
Absolutely, you get a proper idea of it.
Have we got? Oh no,
I think there's the final one.
That looks really good, actually. And so we've got another view, and you can see that the tree in the foreground will be obscuring the exit off stage there to the right. We've got the little platform halt as well there, which is really nice. So good operational interest.
Yeah, I'm really...
So we've got the goods shed, locomotive servicing area, platform run round loop. That is really nice.
And Guion says, just to clarify, this is a basic CAD and it will become a real model railway. So what we were saying earlier on, when they're seeing it right from the start, you can't get further to the start unless you stick a camera inside someone's head.
Yeah, I'm really interested if you can keep us updated on this. It'd be nice to see how this actually progresses. Right, I've changed the view, so I'm not going to show everybody.
Matt the Dragon says, Jenny, what are your books about?
Mostly science fiction. The Bringing Home the Stars and Twinkle Little Star. They're both science fiction horrors. A haunted house story, but set in space, using the desolate isolation of being light years away from Earth, or indeed any other form of civilization, to heighten the tension. And it's about one man's personal conquest of his inner demons through going back to face the mistakes of his past.
And also, we also have the comic book collections, which are different.
Yeah, and they are a much more light-hearted look at kind of Yes Minister, Yes Prime Minister in comic form, but not obviously that, but it's about the unlikely duo, one of whom ends up being Prime Minister and the other is a high-flying bunny-ears lawyer.
Yeah, she's quite insane, but also has magic powers, which is a lovely combination that you really do want from people.
James Pett says, camera inside someone's head. We should have some headcam videos next week.
That would be interesting.
Flymo Chairman 1 says, I can say they're about space adventures, serious stuff. As one reviewer said, think 200 AD, and then he clarifies, 2000 AD even.
Flymo Chairman also says, Deza isn't getting on with Expo. Yeah, just a bit.
Oh my word.
For those of you who've read it, you know I will.
Yeah, no spoilers. But yeah, they was the Bring Home the Stars book actually got onto the, I think it was the top 50 UK science fiction books of that particular year.
Yeah.
We did really, really well. Went on a book signing tour over a couple of years with 2 different books. Was a regular fixture in Waterstones. I did have a career before this in publishing, so good times. Garthian says they're great books. Thank you very much. And certainly, if you want to get them signed, if you buy them through All Mouse Media, I think we have put up a link. We'll put up another link. Then, if you ask, we will sign them. So I think we've got a special deal going on them as well. So really great. And if you're thinking about getting a personalised Christmas or birthday present,
Yeah,
right?
We can do that.
North End Sidings Model Row says bunny ears. You say.
It's a term.
It's a term,
She
apparently.
doesn't wear bunny ears, but the technical term for the trope is bunny ears lawyer because of an episode of Ally McBeal where an expert lawyer completed a case and won while wearing rabbit ears.
Who put 50p in the cupboard monkey, eh? Somerset Andy says Paul Eddington, great actor. Right. Anyway, we're getting high on time. We're overrunning. Do we have any more videos?
Nope, that's all the videos for this week.
So we've shown all the videos. Garthian, I've got to read this out because he's massaging my ego. I have both books in physical form and ebook form. Don't forget as well. I'm like 14 times published. They're not all in print, but certainly there are at least 4 others available through All Mouse Media, and also we do have an online retailer selling. There's the Orb trilogy. So there are other books. Yeah. So 14 times published.
Yes. So we're past 9 o'clock.
We are, yeah. Ham Shackleton says I have 13 books on Amazon, but nobody reads them because they get no advertising.
It's terrible.
It is really hard. And
look, tell you what. Put the link in, and I'll make sure that it gets onto the chat. So just put a link to your author page on Amazon into the chat, and I'll make sure that people see it. And
it's I will leave you with this thought. I absolutely sympathise, being an author, formerly quite a prolific writer. For me, I briefly broke into the mainstream for a period of about 18 months to 2 years. I did very, very well. And publishing is a fickle industry. Now, I still write and have articles published. I'm published in multiple countries with articles, never had a problem with that. But in terms of fiction writing, it is such a fickle industry that I absolutely sympathise with anybody struggling to gain recognition. For me, the rise of the internet, the rise of the e-book reader actually hindered rather than helped a lot of authors.
Oh my goodness, so much.
You'd think it would democratise the publishing industry, but actually it made it much harder to find new authors. And I think a couple of weeks ago, there was something like 600 new books released on a single day. And that's what you're up against. There is so much going out. It's very easy to get lost in the white noise. But look, it's been great hanging out with you for this Monday night chat. Thanks ever so much for coming along. Don't forget to tickle the like button, share on social media, and subscribe if you're not already done so. And a big thank you to the really generous people who donated through the super chat. And we could not keep doing this without your incredibly generous contributions. Don't forget as well that if you want to support us on month-by-month basis, you can do through Patreon. Never feel obliged to give any channel any money, but it is there for those of you who do want to. And of course, check out my books as well. But until next time, you guys all stay safe. We're going to have a full-on Steam Fest next Monday Club. I'm going to change all the rolling stock on Weir Yard, and we're going to go all BR Era 5 type Steam. But until next time, you guys take immensely good care of yourself. This is me, Jenny Kirk, saying take care. Bye for now.
Good night, guys.